I want to start this discussion on this notion of the rule of law. And in the rule of law, we'll be reading John Locke's or sections of John Locke's second treatise on government and comparing that to our Declaration of Independence as written by Thomas Jefferson. There are significant links between the two of those, and that's what I want you to pay attention to as you read the sections in your text on John Locke and also read the Declaration of Independence. If you don't have a copy, I have made a link available for you on Wolf Den under resources, and it's listed as a bookmark. As you read John Locke, you see that he was very much talks about the law of nature or natural law. And in that law, all individuals have rights, and those rights are what nature gives us, and he calls those life, liberty, and property. But he also understands that as we have those rights, people will try to abuse the rights and take advantage of those rights and assert that their rights are more than the rights of other people. So in the result, what happens is that people band together in a sort of contract between the people and the government, and the role of government is to protect the people from the abuses of the minority so that all can guarantee the use of natural law and pursue their goals and their interests in life without fear of being dominated or exploited by someone more powerful. And that's the notion that John Locke's talking about. He goes into great lengths about what this government should be, that it derives its power from the people, that it was created by the people, it can be changed by the people, and the purpose of government is to ensure, as I said earlier, all those rights are guaranteed to all the citizens of the nation. He goes on and spends a great deal of time talking about the propensities of mankind in dealing with each other, sometimes selfishness that people have with each other, their willingness to be motivated by self-interest, and sometimes place those self-interest above the interest of others. And as we mentioned, that's again the purpose of John Locke's notion of why we have government, and government's designed to secure that those natural rights for all people so that they all can benefit from that natural law by which and through which we're all governed. So pay particular attention to that as you go and read through John Locke's second treatise on civil government and what it's supposed to do and how it relates. After you've read that, critically review what he's saying and what do you think about it, and then go and read the Declaration of Independence. John Locke was writing roughly 80 to 100 years prior to the Declaration of Independence. He was one of the leading thought leaders of the time, and was very much an influence on Thomas Jefferson as he drafted the Declaration of Independence. So read the Declaration of Independence and see how that's spelled out. And he goes into great length. He calls our natural rights life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, as opposed to John Locke. He also defends why the colonies would remove themselves from Great Britain and chart their own course, states a number of the abuses that are seen by the colonies against the King of England in this distant land, and then justifies to the world, or attempts to justify to the world, their Declaration of Independence, realizing that it's a critical step, it's a major step, and there could be repercussions, because if they were to lose the war that followed, they would all have been hung as traitors and treasonous actions against the king. And keep in mind that at that point, the rule of law among kings was still very much divine right, that kings were appointed in some way by God and had this ultimate power and authority. And while as you go back and read, you notice that they've had the Battle of Hastings in 1066, which led to the signing of the Magna Carta, which was the beginning of this notion of some representation of parts of the population against the actions of the king that has been gone on developed. So that's what you need to pay particular attention to as you read both John Locke's second treatise and the Declaration of Independence. The assignment that comes out of this is to write a critical review of this relationship. What do you think? Does John Locke do a good enough defense for what he calls the natural law? Do you believe his assessment of what people are like, their basic selfishness and motivated by self-interest to the extent that others may not be able to use their own self-interest? And to what extent do you think that's a valid characterization of humanity? Then take a look again through the Declaration of Independence and see to the extent to which Thomas Jefferson was influenced by that, and to the extent to which he includes the premise of natural law and the relationship between the people and the government in his defense of independence. Several things that are important as you look forward on this is this notion of the Constitution starts out, the preamble says, "We the people." Again, a direct reference to this notion that government is the product of the citizens, the people, not the other way around in this concept of natural law. And we'll be talking about in the next section when we get into the Federalist Papers and their debates over the form of government, the nature of the relationship. And in Federalist Papers, they make a point that ties back into this natural law notion that says if men were angels, government wouldn't be necessary. And that ties back indirectly to John Locke's notion that if people would respect the natural rights of all, we wouldn't need to enter into this contract with a government to protect those rights for all of us. So that's kind of the setup for these things. Help as you read. I'll be posting the PowerPoint as well that'll help focus your reading. But that's the key takeaways from this first section and the assignment that'll be coming due on midnight Monday. And those are all spelled out in Wolfgang. Hope this makes sense. If you have questions, as always, let me know. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.